Chapter 20 of Free Air. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Free Air by Sinclair Lewis. Chapter 20. The Free Woman. Before breakfast, Claire darted down to the hotel yard. She beamed at Milt, who was lacing a rawhide patch on a tire, before she remembered that they were not on speaking terms. They both looked extremely sheepish and young. It was Pinky Parrott who was the social lubricant. Pinky was always on speaking terms with everybody. "Ah, here she is, the little lady of the mutinous eyes, our colonel of the Flivver Hussars." But he got no credit. Milt straightened up and lumbered, "Hello." She peeped at him and whispered, "Hello." "Say, oh please, Claire, I didn't mean oh, I know. Let's go have breakfast." "Was awfully afraid you'd think we were fresh, but when we came in last night and saw your car, didn't like the looks of the hotel much, and thought we'd stick around." "I'm so glad. Oh, Milt, yes, you and Mr. Parrott. Will you whip, lick, beat up, however you want to say it, somebody for me?" With one glad communal smile, Milt and Pinky curved up their wrists and made motions as of pulling up their sleeves. "But not unless I say so. I want to be a citizeness fix-it. I've been good for so long, but now—" "Show him to me!" and "Up, lads, and at 'em!" responded her squad. "Not till after breakfast." It was a sufficiently vile breakfast at the tavern. The feature was curious cakes whose interior was raw, creepy dough. A dozen skilled workmen were at the same long table with Claire, Milt, Pinky, and Mr. Boltwood, the last two of whom were polite and scenically descriptive to each other, but portentously silent about gold mines. The landlady and a slavey waited on the table. The landlord could be seen loafing in the kitchen. Toward the end of the meal, Claire insultingly crooked her finger at the landlady and said, "Come here, woman." The landlady stared, then ignored her. "Very well, then I'll say it publicly." Claire swept the workmen with an affectionate smile. "Gentlemen of Pelago, I want you to know from one of the poor tourists who have been cheated at this nasty place, that we depend on you to do something. This woman and her husband are criminals, in the way they overcharge for hideous food, and—" The landlady had been petrified. Now she charged down. Behind her came her husband. Milt arose. The husband stopped. But it was Pinky who faced the landlady, tapped her shoulder, and launched into, "And what's more, you hag, if our new friends here have any sense, they'll run you out of town." That was only the beginning of Pinky's paper on corrections and charities. He enjoyed himself. Before he finished, the landlady was crying. She voluntarily promised to give her boarders waffles, some morning, just soon as she could find the waffle iron. With her guard about her at the office desk, Claire paid $1 apiece for the rooms, and discussion was not. Before they started, Milt had the chance to say to her, "I'm getting so I can handle Pinky now. Have to. Thinking of getting hold of his gold mine. I just give him the eye, as your friend Mr. Saxton would, and he gets so meek." "But don't! Please understand me, Milt. I do admire Mr. Saxton. He is fine and capable and really generous. Only, he may be just a bit snippish at times, while you're a playmate. Father's in mine. And I did face that landlady, didn't I? I'm not soft and trivial, am I? Praise!" She had driven through the panhandle of Idaho into Washington, through Spokane, through the writhing lava deposits of Moses Coulee, where fruit trees grow on volcanic ash. Beyond Wenatchee, with its rows of apple trees striping the climbing fields like corduroy in folds, she had come to the famous climb of Blewett Pass. Once over that pass, and Snoqualmie, she would romp into Seattle. She was sorry that she hadn't come to know Milt better, but perhaps she would see him in Seattle. Not adventure alone was she finding, but high intellectual benefit in studying the names of towns in the state of Washington. Not Kankakee, nor Kalamazoo, nor Oshkosh can rival the picturesque fancy of Washington, and Claire combined the town names in a lyric so emotion-stirring that it ought, perhaps, to be the national anthem. It ran, "Hump tulips tum tum, mo clips yelm, sat sop bucoda, o mac unimclaw." Tillicum, Bossberg, Chetlo, Chatteroy, Zilla, Sella, Cowiche, Keechalus, Blue Stem, Blue Light, Onion Creek, Sockeye, Antwine, Chapaka, Startup, Capuswin, Skamokawa, Six Prong, Pisht, Plickitat, Kittitas, Spangle, Sidonia, Pay, Els, Clay, Elam, Salal, Chickacum, Index, Tahola, Cinerep, Puyala, Walula, Wawai, Wakanda, Washugal, Walla Walla, Washtunka, Waluka, Solkok, Nukakam, Nuwakam, Wakiakas, Penawa, Ohap, Lad, Hurrah, Olala, Umontum, Chuckanut, Soap Lake, Loon Lake, Addy, Ace, Usk, Chillowisp, Moxie City, Yellowpit, Cashup, Moonax, Mabdum, Talt, Mukilteo, Poolsbo, Toppenish, Whetstone, Inchellium, Fish Trap, Carnation, Shine, Monte Cristo, Coconelli, Rosa, Maud, China Bend, Zoomwalt, Sapalil, Riffle, Touchet, Cheesaw, Chew, Clum, Bly, Humorist, Hammer, Nooksack, Oso, Samamish, Dusty, Tiger, Turk, Dot, Scenic, Tacoa, Nalita, Talia, Steelicum, Tweedle, Ruff, Lizabula, Lata, Piola, Towal, Eltopia, Stepto, Pluvius, Salduke, Twisp. And then, complained Claire, they talk about Amy Lowell. I leave it to you, Henry B., if any Union poet has ever written as gay a refrain as "Oh Hop Lad." She was not merely playing mental whist. She was trying to keep from worry. All the way she had heard of Blewett Pass, its 14 miles of climbing and the last half mile of stern pitch. On this eastern side of the pass the new road was not open. There was a tortuous, flint-scattered trail, too narrow in most places for the passing of other cars. Claire was glad that Milt and Pinky were near her. If so many of the race of kind advisers of tourists had not warned her about it, doubtless she would have gone over the pass without difficulty. But their voluntary croaking sapped her nerve, and her father's. He kept worrying, "Do you think we'd better try it?" When they stopped at a ranch house at the foot of the climb for the night, he seemed unusually tired. He complained of chill. He did not eat breakfast. They started out silent, depressed. He crouched in the corner of the seat. She looked at him and was anxious. She stopped on the first level space on the pass, crying, "You are perfectly miserable. I'm afraid I think we ought to see a doctor." "Oh, I'll be all right." But she waited till Milt came pit-pattering up the slope. "Father feels rather sick. What shall I do? Turn round and drive to the nearest doctor? At Cashmere, I suppose?" "There's a magnolilius medico here ahead on the pass," Pinky Parrott interrupted. "A young thing, but they say he's a graduate of Harvard. He's out here because he has some timber claims. Look, Milt o' the Daggett, why don't you drive Miss Boltwood's bus, make better time, and hustle the old gent up to the dock, and I'll come on behind with your machine." "Why," Claire fretted, "I hate—" A new Milt, the boss, abrupt, almost bullying, snapped out of his bug. "Good idee. Jump in, Claire. I'll take your father up. Hey, was that Pink? Yes, I get it. The second turn beyond the grocery. Right? On we go, huh? Oh, we'll think about the gold mine later, Pink." With all three of them wedged into the seat of the Gomez, and Pinky recklessly skittering after them in the bug, they climbed again, and lo! There was no climb. Unconsciously, Claire had hesitated before dashing at each sharp upsloping bend, had lost headway while she was wondering, suppose the car went off this curve. Milt never sped up, but he never slackened. His driving was as rhythmical as music. They were so packed in that he could scarcely reach gear lever and handbrake. He halted on a level and curtly asked, "That trap door in the back of the car, convertible extra seat?" "Yes, but we almost never use it, and it's stuck. Can't get it open." "I'll open it all right. Got a big screwdriver? Why don't you sit back there? Need elbow room." "Perhaps I'd better drive with Mr. Pinky." "Nope, don't think better." With one yank he opened the trap door, revealing a folding seat, which she meekly took. Back there, she reflected, how strong his back looks. Funny how the little silvery hairs grow at the back of his neck. They came to a settlement in the red cedar bungalow of Dr. Hooker Beach. The moment Claire saw the doctor's thin, demanding face, she trusted him. He spoke to Mr. Boltwood with assurance. "All you need is some rest, and your digestion is a little shaky. Been eating some pork? Might stay here a day or two. We're glad to have a glimpse of Easterners." Mr. Boltwood went to bed in the Beaches' guest room. Mrs. Beach gave Claire and